I gotta do to get into the line.
NASCAR Grand National from Nashville. Experience the awesome power. Live and exclusive. NASCAR Grand National, 6 o'clock Sunday morning. Fox Sports 2.
One thing we can all agree on wherever we come from. Everyone should have an equal chance in life. At the United Nations, we share with cricketers and cricket lovers everywhere a firm belief in sportsmanship, team spirit and fair play. Fair play. At the United Nations, we know is fundamental to peace and development.
Welcome back to the Bango Bandra Stadium here in Dhaka. We're during the break in the cricketnext.com Cup, the feature match of the ICC Cricket Week between Asia and the rest of the world. Asia batting first after Captain Wasim Akram had won the toss and compiling 320 for 9 from their 50 overs, with Sachin Tendulkar leading the way with 80 from 77 balls with 11 fours and sharing a second wicket partnership of 114 with Sourav Ganguly, who made 67 from just 66 balls with 6 fours and 3 sixes. So 320 for 9, a formidable total, but the pitch is a good one, as any one of those bowlers you ask there will tell you. And the outfield is fast. We had more spin than we thought we would have seen. Phil Tufnell, 9 overs, 2 for 68. Michael Bevan bowling his 10 overs, the only bowler who was used for his allotment, 1 for 61. Mark Waugh, the captain, 2 for 28 from 6 overs with his off spin. But the leading wicket taker and the fastest bowler on show for the rest of the world, Nanti Harewood, the South African, who came in at the last moment to replace his fellow South African Alan Donald, 3 for 39 from 7 overs. But it was hard work all the way through for the bowlers. So that's the target, 321 needed by the rest of the world under the lights here, at an average of 6.42 runs per over. It's a difficult challenge for them, but they do have the capacity to get there. And from the very beginning, we saw what the conditions were like. Sachin Tendulkar getting on the way with a boundary, followed very soon after by Sanath Jayasuriya, and the fast bowlers didn't take very long to know that this was going to be a hard day's work. Andy Caddick and Nanti Harewood were the opening bowlers for the world team. Caddick being struck all over the place before Harewood got the wicket of Jayasuriya. A low, good catch in at backward square leg by Bevan. Didn't put off Tendulkar, who continued to play shots all around the ground, and none better than the one which brought him his 50 there. A little tuck off the hip from Franklin Rose. And that's what the crowd had come to see. Tendulkar at his best, and he certainly was today. Sourav Ganguly wasn't too far behind with shots such as that, and then lofting Philip Tufnell, the left-arm spinner, for the first of his 3 sixes over long on. Tufnell, however, had the opportunity of dismissing both with catches off his own bowling, but he floored both of them, and that allowed Ganguly to go on to join Tendulkar with a half century. Ganguly continued his 6 hitting. That was the biggest of the 3 we saw from him, right over long off from Tufnell, but then Tendulkar trying once too often to go over the top from the lap of Franklin Rose at long on, and he'd gone for 80. Aravinda de Silva came in to replace Tendulkar, and with Jadeja continued the stroke making. Jadeja pulling Mark Waugh for a big 6 over square leg, and then driving a catch to Neil Johnson, the Zimbabwean, at short extra cover. Bevan had the wicket of Aravinda de Silva to a little edge into the gloves of Adam Gilchrist, brought smiles to the face of both of them. And then Mark Waugh yorking Abdur Razak and bringing Wasim Akram in to replace his young Pakistani teammate. And he and Moin Khan put back to bowl to good effect. In the end, however, Harewood came back, and his pace was too much for Wasim Akram, giving himself room. Stumps scattered. But at the end, Anil Kumble, 14 from just 8 deliveries, with 2-4s. Moin Khan with some typical strokes, hitting across the line, trying to do so once too often, and a quite sensational catch by the bowler, Nanti Harewood, running a long way to his right, tumbling over and snaring the catch, which gave him the wicket. Chaminda Vas faced just that one delivery before he was run out. Muralitharan came in, he didn't face at all. .320 for 9 from their 50 overs. And just to give you a perspective on the type of total we've had here, there have been over the years in the 29 official one-day internationals played here in Dhaka, 6 totals over 300, the highest being 325 for 6 by Zimbabwe against Kenya here in 1999. So this would then come second were this an official one-day international. It's not. It's a feature match for the ICC Cricket Week, and the rest of the world come out, and there's an individual who may have a lot to do with whether the rest of the world can get up there and win this match or not. It's Muttiah Muralitharan, the Sri Lankan off-spinner, and we saw today that the spinners are more likely to get something out of this pitch than the faster bowlers. Umpires on their way out. Umpire Venkatragaman from India and Dave Orchard from South Africa. They'll soon be joined by the rest of the world team, and the crowd just getting back into their seats, and what a crowd it has been. The ground, which holds 45,000 officially, has been packed to overflowing, and there must be in the vicinity of 55,000 in the ground. They've certainly been royally entertained by the Asian 11 batsmen. Now they sit back to see what response they'll get from the rest of the world.
To put ball to bat. It'll be interesting how they face spin twin Anil Kumble and Muralitharan on a pitch which has been just a little responsive to the spinners. Enough quality in the Pepsi Asia side to make inroads even with the new ball. There's Wasim Akram, obviously the highest wicket taker in one-day cricket. And he'll be supported by Chaminda Vas. A lot will obviously depend on the off-spinner, Muralitharan. Can really give the ball a real twirl.
So Wasim Akram will take the ball. Wasim Akram recently played in the Champions Trophy in Sharjah. Didn't join the team in the West Indies, missed the first match there, but will go back to pick up that series after this match. Highest wicket taker in one-day internationals, the left armour. And he'll be bowling to Neil Johnson, the Zimbabwean, one of the outstanding players in last year's World Cup. That wonderful 100 in the Super Sixes against Australia at Lords. His form hasn't been all that good in the West Indies recently. And there's his partner Mark Waugh, the rest of the world captain, the Australian. And as he said in the interview with Ralph Della as he came off the field, they'll be looking to get a good start. They need one because it is a big target. Here's the first ball. Wasim Akram enjoyed it. In fact, you know why he enjoyed it? Because it was one of those fake balls that we saw early on. Neil Johnson didn't know it, and he was completely flummoxed. Then he realized what it was and said, "Get away from here." Well, it's been this type of match. No, officially. So Mark Waugh, in fact, deliver a ball such as that, which had come from the crowd during the Asian innings. after that, get the wicket of Jadeja. It hasn't quite worked for Wazam Akram this time.
Across Wasim Akram, but still very effective. Johnson beaten with that bit of in-swing. Not really in control. Touching the pad and very close of knocking the off-stump off as well.
Trying the fielder straight to Mueller to run it backwards square leg.
Have to be extra fast to make impressions. Wasim Akram, not as quick as he used to be, but still can do magic with that new ball. Also, the old one.
So the world 11 off the mark with the leg by. Still laughing about that first ball or first non-ball, as the case may be. And Wazam Akram delivered a fake ball that had come from the crowd. Mark Waugh in strike. Mark Waugh would have had night cricket quite recently in New Zealand. Neil Johnson would not have had any since the triangular series in South Africa, involving South Africa and England along with Zimbabwe. Since then he's played in Zimbabwe in daylight and also in the West Indies. So it just will take a little time to adjust to the lights. Gone right through Moin Khan, keeping low, difficult to stop for him, and it gains him 4 by signal by umpire Orchard. So 5 extras on the board for the world team. Gilchrist there on the right. Might have been expected to open the batting, which he does with such good effect for Australia in one-day internationals, but he's being held back here by his captain. There's Michael Bevan joining in. To the left is Andy Flower, who is the 12th man today. Last ball of the first over. And just sliding past Moin Khan for 4 byes. Charan the Sri Lankan. So 2 left armers opening the bowling for the Asian 11.
This wicket should help Johnson to get back into a bit of form. There's a nice carry. The ball comes through nicely on the bat. There's less pressure on him. Zimbabwe, whenever he's played, there's a lot of extra pressure on Johnson to get them off to a good start.
If there's any doubt about which team the crowd here is supporting, certainly have cheered the Asian 11 to the echo, but they've been very fair, of course. No Bangladeshis in the side, which would be a disappointment to them, but they certainly understand that this has to be the strongest Asian 11. And Johnson gets off the mark with a single. Just the one change in the Asian 11, Shoaib Akhtar, the very fast Pakistani, has been injured, so he was unavailable. Saeed Anwar as well was the original selection. Both Pakistanis are injured. Ganguly, who was not an original selection, came in for Saeed Anwar. Chaminda Vaas came in for Sherbaktar. Lovely shot by Mark Waugh. Typical Mark Waugh stroke. Just a languid cover drive. Goes all the way to the boundary for 4.
Does play the stroke really well, Mark Waugh. Beautiful timing. Minimum of risk and effort. Just walked into that stroke and opened the face of the plate to run the ball down through that point area. Nicely done. Didn't have to run because this outfield is lightning quick.
Some of the best looking stroke makers in contemporary world cricket are on show here this evening. We saw Sachin Tendulkar and Saurav Ganguly gave us a display. Aravinda De Silva as well played some handsome shots, and we've already seen one here from Mark Waugh, and we've just started. Bit of a fumble in the gully. That was a single, so 11 without loss after 2 overs. Akram now with his first ball of the 3rd over. Long chase around the boundary and a misfield. Chaminda Vaas on his wrong side, had a long way to run, just finished an over. Perhaps some sympathy for him.
Once again through that area of point, Mark Waugh and Chaminda Vaas failing to get down in time, letting it one go.
Magnificently struck. Well, we've seen 2 shots from Mark Waugh already in this innings, which have been the equal of anything we saw from Sachin Tendulkar, and that's saying something.
This is beautifully played. Once again, Mark Waugh easily doing it through that cover point area. That's a perfect angle for Mark Waugh to really run the ball down through that area. Left arm angle.
And another delicate deflection off the legs, just a little help along for another boundary for Mark Waugh.
Getting his 3rd boundary, Mark Waugh. Fine edge, beautifully played. Allowing that ball to come to him and just a flick of wrist. There's so much that batsmen can learn from each other in a match like this. Johnson and really work out his technique. Watch Mark Waugh play the extremely talented and world-class seamers in action. You'll get a bit of confidence by just watching him dominate them. You also have the satisfaction of playing along one of the greats. And this will give a lot of boost to his confidence.
Expensive over. 13 have come off it. 24 without loss. Wazam Akram in unusual role at the moment as captain. He's quit as the Pakistan captain after the Australian tour. And just some adjustments in the field. That adjustment entails the use of a short point rather than the gully. There's a short point that's come out. He's come from gully, was in gully in the last over. So he's moved just about, 15 yards to his right. Perhaps less than that. Four light pylons here, as you can see, with the shadows from the fielders' figures. But they give very good light here. All the teams which are here for the Wills Trophy, the so-called Mini World Cup in '98, commented very favorably on the conditions. Well, that's gone through that short point, and they pick up a second.
Mark Waugh showing a bit of class here. Still been able to find gap. Although there are a lot of fielders in that position of point in the short point area to plug that hole, but still managing to run the ball down, picking up a couple of runs. Asia 11 scoring at a very healthy run rate, 6.40. The rest of the world matching them, in fact eclipsing that run rate, 7.09. But still a long way to go.
Facilities here at the Bangabandhu Stadium really quite modern. An electronic scoreboard which keeps the spectators here up to date in every respect and dominates over that far side. Well bowled. Fine over from Chaminda Bass, 26 without loss after 4. Johnson had an indifferent time in the Caribbean recently. Just doesn't look the same player he was last year in England.
Forcing stroke, looking to force it through the offside, but the footwork not there. The front foot going the other direction and the ball taking another.
Almost in every movement we see from Johnson, it's a batsman who is not at ease with himself, lacking confidence, hurrying his shots.
Because when you're out of form, you need to be watching that ball very closely. At times the batsmen who are out of touch seem to lose the sight. They're also mentally looking to get runs quickly. So the focus is not there all the time. Although still averages pretty good. But Johnson is not as convincing as he was during the World Cup. Mark Waugh cutting quite hard on the front foot.
Well, these things happen to batsmen who are out of touch. Hit through the line, hit it pretty well, but found the lap of the fielder. So the first wicket goes 28 for 1.
Well, Johnson failing to pick a slow delivery from Wasim Akram, and early into the stroke. It was a wide delivery, asking to be punished, but playing it straight into the safe hands. Jadeja taking an easy catch, and Akram getting his first wicket. 28 for 1.
Monday morning, following the English FA Cup game, direct from Hampden Park, Hibernian take on Aberdeen in the Scottish FA Cup semi-final. Live, Hibs Aberdeen, 2:30 Monday morning, only on Fox Sports 2.
Every one of you can call New Zealand for just $6 for each half hour. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. With Telstra 0018 Easy Half Hours. Telstra Easy Rates for every one of you.
You can rely on your local Repco auto repairer. Call for the outlet near you. Showtime invites you to a night of karaoke. I still know what you did last summer. Coming soon to Showtime.
New batsman is Jack Callis, comes in to replace Neil Johnson.
A pretty ordinary shot in the end from Neil Johnson. A tentative one. Didn't really clear the fielder, went straight to Jadeja. Jack Callis is the new batsman. He's technically a very correct player. Plays with a straight back, high elbow, very tight defense.
Gets off the mark from the last ball of the over, an over in which Akram got the first wicket, that of Johnson. 29 for 1. I don't know if you ever had cheerleaders when you were batting, Rammies. Seems to be a new innovation.
And a good one, it adds a lot of colour. It's enjoying the world-class talent that has been on offer here. Look at that average for an all-rounder. Jack Callis, average of 42.26 with 500s.
Just past the right hand of slip. Goes all the way, but the edge was found. I suppose you could say a moral victory for Chaminda Vast.
That should be just a little discouraging for Chaminda Vast. A very good delivery. Jack Callis not there at the pitch of the ball, missing it, and that angle taking the ball away from him.
Crowd very animated. It's really had itself fully entertained today by the glorious stroke play of Sachin Tendulkar, especially, and Ganguly and Aravinda de Silva and others in that big score by the rest of the world of 320 for 9, correction by Asia. And they've already had some fine strokes from Mark Waugh. And they've tried to get the wave going, during the course of the day. It's not always been successful, but what I've seen, it hasn't been successful at all. I suppose if they do get it going, it'll be more a tsunami than a wave with the kind of crowd they've got in. It's a real big one. Superb piece of fielding. The Sri Lankans really have improved their fielding 100% in recent years. Muralitharan, one of their outstanding fielders.
Sri Lankan saving runs for another Sri Lankan. Muralitharan doing a fine job there. A real team effort.
Six overs have gone and the world team are 34 for 1. Crowd really into this now. Was a Makram. And well run. A lot of prestige and pride up for the players individually here. As far as the team is concerned, well, whoever wins here will take the first ICC cricketnext.com Cup. That's the trophy which is up for grabs between these two teams. Of course, what a fantastic stroke. What a magnificent shot that was. He didn't seem to have the room to play it. He didn't seem to have the gap to get it through, and yet he did.
And beautifully played on the front foot. Look at that stroke. Just an angle of the bat. Not even back and across. Mark Waugh taking it on the front foot and then adjusting to the height beautifully. There's not a lot Wasim Akram can do. Whenever there has been a hint there for the batsman of that width, especially Mark Waugh has been on top of it.
Striking the ball just about as well as we saw Tendulkar do so. There's a famous figure on the right hand side. Famous face as well. Dulit Mendis, the outstanding Sri Lankan batsman of the last generation. Have to hurry here. Good effort. Again, Muralitharan out there enjoying the fielding.
Well, you can only be a top-class fielder when you're enjoying your stuff out there. Muralitharan again firing it in quickly, and that would have been very close. That hit the target.
Trouble. Lucky that it was a left-hander. Not too sure which end to throw it to, and then having to transfer the ball to his left hand. And Jayasuriya just a little bit wide. 41 for 1. Chaminda now starting his 4th over. Jayasuriya coming in there, and left-hander, of course, had to transfer the ball. There was a little bit of hesitation between the batsmen. Looked to be dangerous at first. Just feel here that the Asian 11 have the bowlers better suited to the conditions here, with Kumble and Muralitharan to come, and Jayasuriya as well. Mark Waugh quickly sussed out what type of pitch it was and used Michael Bevan all 10 overs, Phil Tufnell for 9 and himself for 6. And they may well have more of an effect than the faster bowlers.
So they've got the fast bowling all-rounders as well. Akram, Razak, Jadeja, and Ganguly. And bowl a good line. But it'll have to be Muralitharan and Kumble really to make inroads, make an impression here.
Good save again. He's always in the action, Muralitharan.
Well, if Indians were the star when they came out to bat, has been the Sri Lankans who've really been outstanding in the field so far. Muralitharan has been exceptional. Once again, moving quickly to his right, anticipating the ball quite nicely. Always a big smile on his face, enjoying the fielding.
There he is again, this time not quite able to pick it up in time.
And the smile's gone instantly. There was a very good chance. Had he picked it up cleanly, might have had one of the batsmen run out. It's been a phenomenal off-spinner. Very good record. 183 wickets. Been a match winner for the Sri Lankans over the last few years. Excellent average as well for a spinner.
Good bowling by Chaminda Vas. 8 overs gone, 42 for 1. Not as rousing a start here for the world team as it was for the Asian 11. Still a reasonable one, 43 for 1. And an intense battle going on in the middle. 321 is the target in the commentary box. Ralph Delor, and with him is Mike Proctor.
Thank you very much, Tony. 43 for 1. He missed the 9th over of the innings. The main sponsor of the event from cricketnext.com, Mr. Sanjay Jai. I think Wasim Akram knows all about these conditions, knows exactly what he's trying to do with the ball, and so far he is really achieving it. Even he is finding it just a little bit warm out there. And players who have appeared under lights here tell me that it does get hotter when the lights come on. Well bowled, well positioned, well fielded.
Yeah, that's quite difficult to believe that. Well, it gets hotter when the lights come on, because it was an extremely hot day during the daytime. Not a cloud in the sky, but I suppose the heat of the lights in that little cauldron in the middle there has created a little bit more heat. We don't need any more of that.
But they're good lights, aren't they? They give a... I don't know what their lux rating is, but certainly it gives good vision. Particularly when the ball is new. There was a very full crowd 2 hours before the start. They were all in before the start, and now late in the evening they're still here and they're thoroughly enjoying the cricket that they're seeing. Not easy down there. You've got some worn bowlers' footholds, so not that easy. 9 overs bowled, 46 for 1.
Everybody wants it.
Interesting to note the different approach from the rest of the world side to the Asian side in the batting. The Asians went off at a rate and never let it slip below 6 and over. And now we've got the rest of the world being just a little bit more circumspect. Does that reflect the different types of cricket, Mike Proctor?
Well, I think Sri Lankans were the first ones to start it off, weren't they? When they won the World Cup, a couple of World Cups back, how well they played up front, scored, well, such a rate.
What a very good catch that was by Chaminda Vaas. Well, we were talking about the difference between the two innings. We saw a couple of caught and bowl chances put down when Tendulkar and Ganguly were going well. But here, we have seen a stunning catch by Chaminda Vaas. It's the end of Mark Waugh. Just look at this.
Brilliant catch. His wrong hand is right hand. And it was going quickly, and Mark Waugh, who was in such majestic form, he's gone for 28. The rest of the world now, 46 for 2.
This afternoon, you're